Hello and welcome to another episode of Leah Talks. Today we are joined by Ashley. So, hi Ashley, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, what I'll do is if you can introduce yourself, because you're going to do it a lot better than me. So, if you let us know who you are and what you do, that would be amazing.
I'm Ashley Holmes and I am a holistic fertility coach. So I support women who are struggling with infertility to create that fertile foundation within by connecting mind, body, and spirit and to truly nourish themselves from the inside out and have the support in order to do so.
And how do you do that? Is that yoga or is that kind of like therapy?
It's coaching, it's yoga, it's meditation, it's Ayurveda, which is the sister science to yoga. It's a whole lot of energy medicine that you are offered and provided to help work through and alleviate the stress that you're going through because it is stressful. So, what are we doing with this stress? And it's really good to channel and direct it as it arises instead of, suppressing it and repressing it and really having it affect us moving forward.
Yeah, so there's a lot to it then. It's not just it's not just talking somebody through it. There's a lot of energy work and yoga and everything else as well.
If it was one thing and if it was easy, it wouldn't be one in six worldwide. So it really is, there isn't an easy answer, unfortunately. And everybody who comes to me, it is one to one, and we work with where you're at and what you've been through.
hmm I didn't actually know the stats, 1 in 6. I didn't realize it was that high actually.
It is very high and
Mm,
it's really unfortunate. And just bringing light and awareness to it that you're not alone and you're not the only one struggling, that there are so many people in this situation, I think really just helps to allow people to not feel so alone and to not struggle
mhm.
silently because that was me over a decade ago. And
Yeah.
it's really not a great place to be or feel like, especially if no one in your immediate circle is struggling, then you do feel alone. And so it is good to have and find that support. And for that support not to just be your partner because they're in it with you.
Yes, yeah. So actually that leads me on to the next question because I was going to ask you, what's your story about how you got into all of this? And I'm guessing that's because you went through it yourself.
Yes, it is because I experienced infertility myself over a decade ago and I did use a clinic and I was blessed with twins, but with unexplained infertility, I had no answers and it wasn't something I was going to put myself through again because I didn't enjoy the process.
hmm
And I thought, okay, you got twins, be grateful for that. And I was, but a little piece of me always wanted to know, why. And I really truly feel I found that by embracing a holistic lifestyle, having a spiritual awakening, and really becoming and feeling whole as I was instead of like I needed fixing, like something was missing, it was there all along. I just really had to tap into it.
So I can imagine it's a lot of getting to know yourself and your body as well. Would you say that's right?
Absolutely. I feel like it is the biggest sort of deep dive that you can take to fully understand your body and yourself better because everything is connected. So our thoughts are affecting what's happening in our body. And if we're feeling disconnected spiritually, then that's not helping as well. And I definitely felt that the first time around, it just felt like there was a disconnect and I didn't know what else was available to me or what else I could do for myself at that point in time.
Do you use a lot of so you said obviously you had help with all this stuff. Did you use what am I trying to say? Do you use their advice in your teaching as well, or is yours mostly the spiritual side?
It's all of it. It's mind, body, and spirit because
Everything.
it's all connected. It's not just one or the other. Sometimes people say, I just want the Ayurveda, or I just want the yoga, or I just want this. And it's like, I can give you all of that, but I make no promises. Yes, it's going to have benefit. There will be some benefit, but it may be small compared to what else is available and possible to you if you take a fully holistic approach and apply that to yourself and your well-being.
Hmm. Yes, I love that. We learned a little bit of Ayurveda in my yoga teacher training, and I just loved the idea of it. I've never looked into it too much. I do have a book about it, and I have looked into it a little bit, but not like in depth and in detail. But I love the idea of it, and the idea of like eating the right foods at the right time. And it's most of it, to be honest, is like common sense and nature, but we don't do it.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes,
came to realize anyway.
it's so true. And it's really this ancient wisdom that has been around for a long time that we maybe weren't brought up with, or we haven't learned about or incorporated into our lives. And as soon as you do sort of understand your inborn constitution and know how to nourish yourself optimally, you see
Mhm.
benefits and changes really, really quickly. And it's like, wow, I was missing out on all of this all along, and I just didn't know, because it's not a fad or a trend or a quick fix. It really is your lifestyle and setting you up for success and a sustainable life in the long run.
Yes. And I'm sure you can. Oh, as my screen froze, hopefully the audio is still working. Can you still hear me?
Yes,
Awesome.
I
Okay.
can.
You're going to explain this a lot better than me. What, how would you explain Ayurveda to somebody listening who doesn't know what Ayurveda is?
It is really the nature of the mind and the body and how they correspond to one another. And it's a healing sort of science that is implemented into your lifestyle. So you can incorporate it to the extent that you want. Obviously, the more that you do incorporate it, the more benefits you are going to receive. But I personally am not vegan myself either, but I mean, it can go to that extent as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So I know you got into obviously all the spiritual stuff for your work and through the pregnancy stuff as well. Were you spiritual before that, or did that help you on your spiritual path?
It absolutely helped me on my spiritual path, and I wasn't before, and it really was what I had been seeking all along, but I didn't know that this was what I was looking for, that this was what I was searching for, and it absolutely helped me and to have trust in my body and feel
Mhm.
secure in who I am, and all of those things that play such a huge role in how we show up in the world and how we feel about ourselves, and really just a connection to the universe and to being exactly where I am and meant to be at every point in time, even if it doesn't feel like it, and knowing that I am divinely supported and guided at all times, and to trust that.
Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't just affect you as well, either. Like it affects everybody around us as well, doesn't it? So how do you feel like that's helped your parenting?
It's night and day difference. I feel like my twins had a very different mom than my little miracle that came along long after, because I was in the midst of my prana meditation yoga training when he was in my belly. And so he was born a very, zen little baby comparatively, and he had a very different experience compared to my other two children, because that was a high stress, high risk pregnancy at the
Mhm.
time. And so it really just allows me to view them, and their little spirit as they are, and to know that's who they are, and to not try to change them or make them be a different way. I mean, my twins are very different, and there's no comparison, there's no judgment. It's like, be who you are and embrace who you are and your own uniqueness. And I think that knowing that everybody, there is no one size fits all or one right way to be. It's just to really embrace that uniqueness and qualities that make you who you are.
Yeah. So do you think it's helped with like tantrums and stuff like that that every parent seems to go through the stress of bringing up a child?
I think that I have learned, like, their behavior really is never a reflection of me, you know they're
Mhm.
allowed to feel their feelings and have them and be supported through them and know it's just a moment in time and that it will pass and to just let them move through it. Whereas I didn't do that so easily the first time around, you know? It was like I thought that was a reflection of me and my ability to parent, especially as I had worked previously with children for a long time. And it was like, why are they doing this or acting this way? And it really had nothing to do with me besides my ego,
Mhm.
right? So it's really knowing that they have to move through these things and experience these things, and it's all just a process and a learning journey, but hopefully we are learning and growing and evolving together in a more positive fashion.
Yes, I do think this is why a lot of mums should be doing yoga because it really does help you to look inwards and look at yourself because most of the time, yeah, if your kids are having tantrums or something, it's not normally about you. But it is really hard to see it that way. And I guess we do feel judged a lot. And it's good to just look in and think, nothing to do with me. Let's see what they need right now. So yeah, I can see how yoga and spirituality and all of this can help with that because it does help you understand yourself and your own feelings and stuff. Um, so you're obviously a yoga teacher yourself. What is
Yes.
your favorite style of yoga? And I guess what got you into that?
What got me into it initially was a $5 karma class, a hot yoga class, and that was sort of what hooked me, and I didn't understand in the beginning why I was so drawn to it and what kept bringing me back, but it really was just the purely the energetics and the cleansing and the detoxification and how I always felt better after I stepped off my mat, no matter which practice it was, and so, personally, I still love my vinyasa flows and my hatha sort of background that got me into it initially. But I love to teach yin yoga because I feel like society in general needs more of it because we are so yang like and we need to have that balance and embrace some stillness and some silence and some quiet in our lives when it is a lot of hustle and bustle and not often much time and space to just breathe.
Yes. Do you think, do you use yin yoga a lot with your students? Do you think that helps with the fertility and holistic stuff?
Definitely, it does because yin yoga is similar to going to acupuncture and opening up your meridian lines in the same way. So it's just a different approach, it's a different style to sort of achieve the same goal because you're using acupressure when you're in those poses. So it's similar. And me personally, not being a fan of needles, I would personally rather lie on my bolster than, be booking an appointment to go to acupuncture.
Yes, agreed. Definitely. Um, so do you have a daily routine for your spiritual practice? I'm guessing yoga is going to be in there. Is there anything else that you do?
One thing that really was sort of life changing for me was when I woke up and do wake up intentionally day in and day out and meditate before my children get out of bed and take that time to start my day with that intention and that quiet and that vibration that I seek to carry throughout the day and into the day versus being pulled out of bed by mom because it's really a very different energy to the way you start your day. And often the way you start your day just creates a ripple effect into the rest of your day. So, yoga and meditation are daily. And it doesn't matter what yoga I do, it's just get on your mat and, give your body what it needs today in that moment. And I have the grace to be able to know and listen to and understand, what style of practice would serve me best day in and day out. But those are definitely two things, and I fully believe that it's really important to be in nature, day in and day out to connect to the elements within us because, we have those elements inside of us as well, and journal dumping at the end of the day, like, to just release, get those thoughts out of your mind, out of your head, and let the day be done and not carry it into the next
Hmm.
day is really, really important practices that I have.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And I love journaling. And I am not I actually used to not like it at all. And I wasn't one of these people that would sit and be like, dear diary, blah, 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 blah. But my journaling maybe looks a little bit different, where it's kind of like planning my day or planning the next day. It's just getting everything out onto paper. So journaling, if anyone's listening, doesn't have to be, writing what happened that day or how you felt or anything like that. It can just be anything that's in your head, get it out onto paper, because you feel so much better for it, definitely.
Absolutely. I think we don't sometimes view the importance of perhaps the simple things and the things that we can do day in and day out for ourselves that really do make a difference.
Yes. Yeah. And I loved that you said nature as well, because one thing that I absolutely love doing, I live in Devon and we have the most amazing views around, and looking at the sunsets every night, even if I've had like the worst today, it's just so calming. So definitely
Yes.
agree with nature for sure.
Yes. It really is just that opportunity that's always available to us to, you know, take that time. Leave your phone, leave your distractions, go for a wander with your kids, or, you can have a walking meditation. It doesn't have to be that you're sitting down and meditating and really releasing the sort of perceptions of what it has to look like and be like and feel like. These are things that you can do and bring mindfulness into your daily life and how you live, and to teach your children that as well.
Yes. Yeah. So for anybody listening who is struggling with fertility, because I know the title of this podcast is going to be related, can you give them any advice of things that they could start doing now before working with somebody? I'm going to leave all your links and stuff in the description below. So for anybody listening, feel free to work with Ashley. But can you give them one piece of advice to like just get started with right now?
My biggest piece of advice would be to find support, because sometimes you're not in the space and mindset to be able to help yourself as much as you may wish to. And I think by having that support and having a place that you don't feel alone, and someone who sees you, feels you, hears you, whatever that looks like in the moment, is so important to be able to move through whatever you're experiencing and choose the direction and the energy and vibration you wish moving forward. And I think it's so important to as well instill daily sort of practices for yourself, for mind, body, and spirit. For your mind, either journal or do meditation. For your body, move your body in a way that you love day in and day out. And for your spirit, what makes you feel like you and sparks that inner joy. Because if we don't have that and these little elements are missing out in our daily lives, then life does sometimes feel hard and it does feel like a struggle, and it can be hard to bring yourself out of that space and place.
Yeah, because if there's no joy in life, your body is going to be in a constant state of stress, isn't it? And if that happens, your body is going to be fighting, and it's not going to think, oh, we'll get pregnant and settle down and have a baby right now. It's going to be like, run. So yeah,
Yes.
it's not going to be like that.
It's so important to come out of fight or flight mode and reset and arrive and land into rest and digest mode. And this isn't often, a one and done. We're
Mhm.
triggered either at work or by family or whatever the case may be. And it's really important to have these tools, to have these resources, to be like, I need to lean into or tap into this so that I can return to a state of equilibrium, so that I'm not in this stressed out state of being and releasing stress hormones into my body. I want to be releasing relaxation hormones into my body.
Yes. And I love that you said to get support as well, because sometimes when you're in a situation, it's really hard to see what the problem is or what you're doing wrong. And somebody else sometimes can just look at you and be like, well, why are you doing that? Or, it's so much easier for somebody, I think, sometimes looking in to say, any kind of advice. Do you know what I mean? Would you agree with that?
I think, yes. Once it's seen, it can't be unseen, but sometimes you don't realize what
Mhm.
your subconscious mind and what is playing in the background that is affecting your results day in and day out. So when you can become conscious and aware And it might be say something you say, it might be, your eating habits, it might be, but lots of things give us a lot of messages about what is actually happening internally. And then we can make shifts and changes from there. And it's not all or nothing. It's not all at once. It's not cut and dry, but it's like give yourself space and grace to begin to make some positive changes for your well being so that this is also going to be affecting the baby that you're carrying, and knowing that everything that you do now is affecting your egg quality 3 to 4 months from now. And so that's why I work with women for 4 months at a minimum, is because we're creating this foundation. You're taking the time, energy, and space to really focus on you and prioritize yourself because it really is important and it matters.
Yes, yes. Amazing. Okay, so for anybody that's listening, I ask every single guest to do this, and it doesn't have to be on the topic we've been talking about today, but it can be. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give somebody right now about anything that you wish you'd known that you know now?
I would say number one, your breath is your anchor between your mind and your body always. So if you are feeling stressed, just close your eyes and take a conscious breath, at least one. And that is instantly going to have a positive effect on your state of being. And so that would be number one
Mhm.
that I would say. And number two would be that you have everything that you need inside of you. You just may not be accessing it or tapping into it, but you can really take your health, happiness, and healing into your own hands.
I love that.
So that is number two. And number three is to trust your intuition. And if you feel like you can't trust your intuition, then perhaps it's time to lean into and, develop and experience that side of yourself and get to know yourself at a deeper level.
Yes, amazing, amazing advice. Okay, so where can people find you if they are looking for something like this? I'm going to leave all the links below, but feel free to let everybody know.
I have a holistic fertility coach Facebook group, which you are welcome to join. And it is a community to support women who are trying to conceive. So you're more than welcome to find me there or to share this with someone in your world that is currently struggling. And that is the best place to find me and to join me, as well as I am based in Canada, but I am part of a health and wellness platform called Vibely. So you can take yoga classes, you can take meditation classes, you can have Reiki sessions with me, you can do my one-to-one fertility coaching with me. There's something sort of for everyone because valuing our health and well-being is so vital.
Yes. Awesome. I will leave all of the links down below. And like you said, support is one of the biggest things. So if this episode has resonated with anybody, go and join the Facebook group and find people in your situation that's going to help support you. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Ashley. It was lovely to speak to you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.